Do it. Do it. Do reaction
Um,
for it.
but next up is uh Lanterns apparently wraps in July, and I am so shocked that we have went this long without any set leaks from this show. I'm genuinely shocked.
Kudos, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also clarified what grounded meant. I didn't think that needed to be clarified.
Uh,
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
come on now. If you're willing to go deep cuts with a lot of the characters you're introducing now, like obviously you're gonna go a little bit out of space for the Lanterns, like for Christ's sake.
Are they going to be on Earth the whole time? Because you say grounded.
don't-
That's not what grounded.
There was
Grounded
a couple people that in chat my stream that thought the same thing. They were like, "Does it mean what does grounded mean?" I was like, "Typically, it means like a grounded story."
yeah, use
Typically.
the complete phrase, grounded in reality.
But I'm glad he cleared it up. Last night on my stream, I was like, I'm glad he said something because people were confused about it for whatever reason.
I don't get what's so confusing. And then you have people who get on here
Because
and
the
they
X-Men movie
start
shook
saying-
people to the core. That's
Yeah.
why. The X-Men movie never actually took them anywhere. You have the most cosmic family in the entire fucking Marvel franchise, and the farthest they go is in the
X.
atmosphere?
Yeah.
I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that was
They-
whack.
That's why I was so pissed when freaking what's the guy who made the first 3 shitty X-Men movies?
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer.
Yeah, when he said he wanted he wanted a grounded X-Men. Like, well, how the hell do you ground the X-Men of all franchises?
Thematically, they're already grounded. I'm like, I don't know what else
Right,
you
like
need.
they're grounded in reality.
Yeah.
You could argue that the reason why they were so successful in the 80s is because the stories were grounded. Like you
Yeah.
had character stories that we could like relate to. Everybody. They had stories for everybody in the X-Men.
Yeah.
But they took them into space. You had them
Yeah.
fighting fucking people on the moon. You had them flying and fucking with the Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah,
like you had all that shit going
I
on.
like the Shi'ar Empire.
But you could relate to the characters. You didn't have
Right.
to literally ground them to the
Right.
point where it's like
Oh, okay, I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
that's part of
fuck.
what it's part of
They're
what
a
made the
soap
90s
opera.
shows so successful too. Like
Yeah,
they had
they're a soap
individual
opera.
character arcs.
That's the grounded levelness.
Yeah, the
You
that's
want-
why
Characters
X-Men
about it, but
97
they
is so
still-
good. Like X-Men and
Yeah.
X-Men 97 because you relate to the fucking characters.
Yeah.
Make the characters good. Take them anywhere you want, but make the characters fucking good. Like that's it.
before the tragedy of episode 5, yeah, oof, that the most tense that episode was the interviews going down in the mansion, and at the same time Scott and Jean are going through shit, and then Logan's trying not to pine over Jean. I was like, that's the most tense shit right there, and that's your grounded level there to work with. And like, oh,
Well, one character was put in the ground after episode 5.
Ooh.
TBD.
Yeah,
That poker card says something else, bro. But yeah,
Yeah, oh,
I don't know. I'm hopeful, and they said it ends. They conclude filming in July, right?
Yep.
They're probably gonna put like
Yeah.
an image, like a mini teaser by then.
Yeah.
I hope.
But let's
No,
just
they won't.
hope. Let's just hope they don't do what
They
they
won't do
they
that.
don't do the yeah they
They're
so
not
you don't
gonna-
think
and no, they're not. Want to know why? Because that's not typical practice for HBO and TV. I'm just
Typical,
saying.
yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just like
no? I'm saying go keep going.
I'm just saying like they won't show anything. Penguin was a bit of a special case because it started before the strikes and then it had to finish filming after the strikes. So we got something for it because the timeline for release, I'm sure, was altered due to the strikes. So again, like they probably showed something off. They were confident and they thought it was going to release that year. The strikes happened. No, you can't have a swig of my drink. It's mine. But then, the strikes fucked everything up for the Penguin, like indefinitely, and that's why it released in late 2024
In
as
the
opposed
fall,
to
yeah.
early as opposed to earlier in 2024. When it comes to Lanterns, we're probably not going to see anything from that at best, if we're lucky, if anyone's lucky, New York Comic Con.
Yeah,
Because if that show debuts in early 2026, then that's a very open time frame before June of 26, before Supergirl. You have 5 months of when it could release. My money is probably on March or April, sometime in the spring, just like they did with The Last of Us.
for release. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That works.
You think he'll be in competition if they do March? That would be really interesting to see how it like does against Daredevil, week to week.
I think it's the perfect juxtaposition to Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
Wednesday night is Marvel nights, and then Sunday nights is DC nights.
Right.
Hey,
And
I'm here
you
for
have
it.
two different takes on the term grounded too.
Right. I'm pumped, man.
Well, I don't even think Grounded. People are fucking talking about. I don't know about that, Showmonger, but when they refer to grounding these characters, they mean giving them realistic reasons for why they do what they do. This is a large narrative problem between fans who just they see that word and they instantly seethe because they're brought back to the days of the Dark Knight, and they think that everything's just going to be hyper realistic, or they think it's going to be like the Batman. That's not what people mean when they say they ground these cosmic beings or these supernatural characters or these very fantastical characters. No, if you're going to bring a character into live action, you need a fundamental reason why they are doing what they are doing. You need a reason to propel their story forward. You need a fucking reason for why they're doing what they are doing. Yeah, you could look to a million different comic books and point and be like, yeah, that's the reason why. Well, yeah, no shit, but how's it going to adapt to live action?
Yeah.
Can you adapt it to live action?
And it's a mystery. It's a terrestrial mystery that they're dealing with. Yeah.
And we're talking about space cops, right? And what was Tom King? Tom King was former CIA. People have been asking me, why the fuck is Tom King on the show? And I was like, because he's fucking former CIA. He's dealt with criminal investigation before. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't know he was former CIA?
No, I did not know that.
I did
Oh,
not
yeah.
know that either. I did not know either.
Go read his Rorschach book, and you could see a
Yeah.
little bit of like
Oh, yeah.
even Batman. Like, go look at those two titles, and you're like, oh yeah, he's probably
Wow.
through a little bit of shit from this.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is why Phil is here. Like every week, I gotta post another. I gotta post another clip of the show talking about.
I'm just
Phil
saying.
makes me look slow. Part 2.
Nah.
Phil
The fact that they already
educated
have
me,
the
part
ring,
2.
like one of them has the ring already. That shit people will be like, it's not gonna be grounded. Like if it was gonna be
Both of them
fully
have the ring.
grounded the way people thought, they wouldn't have
Both
had the
of them
rings
have
right now.
Right.
Both
Like
of
the
them.
If it was
yeah.
gonna be grounded, Guy Gardner wouldn't be in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the full phrase, like the completed phrase.
Does anyone
typically-
actually give a shit that Guy
Grounded.
Gardner's going to be in this? Because I don't.
No,
No.
I mean,
no,
it just,
but
it
it's just
connects them.
it just connects them because then you had the same people saying, "Oh, it's grounded." That means they're not gonna have the rings. Oh, that means it's not a part of the DC
Look,
universe.
I'll be honest. Even without the term grounded, the early information about this show was very sketch. So
Yeah.
like we didn't know what the show was going to be. They talked about murder mystery, all this other shit, and it's notoriously TV shows fucking play fast and loose with like some of these comic book stories. Like look at the CW. People complain about the way the CW takes characters and changes them. So I think it's fair for fans to question what the show is going to be and be a little bit concerned about the quality of the show coming from, especially with David Zaslav at the wheel. I'm just saying,
But he's
right?
not at the wheel.
But I don't think grounded is the word people need to latch on to. Like that's literally just good stories. Like you want the characters to be relatable, right? But I think it's fair for people to be worried whether or not the show is going to be over the top. Because let's be honest, Warner Brothers is fucking broke. They're broke. They're bleeding money. They're going right now hard against David Zaslav, trying to take money away from him when he leaves the company, trying to take money away from his bonuses. They can't even properly advertise stuff. They're putting a lot of money into Superman because they want this movie to do really well. But let's be clear here, financially, it's been a roller coaster for them. So I think it's okay to be concerned whether or not the show is going to like do all the things we want. We need to go into it realistically. Like we need to go into it being apprehensive about it. Because remember, like all the Marvel shows, like on Reddit, people were going crazy. Oh, this character's going to be there. That character's going to be there. Whatever. They ruin the show for themselves because they get their expectations so high. I think we just need to go in and enjoy it. Like just
The
have a
water
good time.
cooler talk went too high. Yeah.
Yeah, it started like every fucking episode of WandaVision when I was reviewing that was like,
I
what
remember
character do they see this week?
Mephisto,
Wolverine,
Mephisto.
Professor X, Magneto. Like everybody was showing up every week.
Yeah, no, it
Got
was,
frustrated.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was,
Yeah,
that was-
but that's what I'm saying. Like everything we saw from the Lantern show leading up to just all the information we have now, like all the early stuff, didn't really give us a sense of whether or not the show was going to like go over the top. As far as we knew, it was just a mystery on Earth where they might use their rings to like solve the mystery on Earth. We had no idea. We don't know. So I think it's fair for a little people. Just don't go crazy. Don't start trashing it and stuff. I think that's a little bit over the top. Like I think going hard on it and trashing it is a bit much.
Also, for the younglings who are watching this show, you have to realize a lot of us here have waited years post that movie because people always say, you know, we're gonna do Lanterns, and like at one point, either Peter Jackson may or may not have been involved, and he was linked to it, and it's just like the fact that they have a still frame shot of both Hal and John. It's just like, yo,
And we're getting Guy. We're getting all these Lanterns. Like
Yeah.
like they're all coming out now.
The
So
fact that
that's
we're getting
one of
Guy
those-
first. It's just
Right.
like,
They took the wrong lesson from the Green Lantern movie feeling the way it did. They said, "Oh, because this movie didn't make money, people just aren't interested in the concept of Green Lantern or that character." No, that's not the case at all.